So this is actually a pretty big top for the deadness of the tree, but it's got good constitution. I trust it. There's a place down there way below me that's a bit squishier that I don't like. But when it's your time, it's your time, and this ain't my time. It's a nice cut. Maybe I'll snipe it. Yeah, this is gonna be good. You want this thing?
Doesn't do any good up there.
Get out! Should I blow on it?
Looks like it's...
How about an index finger?
That would probably do. Man, you have to be a rock star with a move like that.
Starting another vlog style video for you today, YouTube. Climb a tree, fly a plane, stuff like that. I'm looking all over for my hard hat, and I know where I put it, but there's no reason for anyone around here to believe me because I lose things a lot. So I'm saying, I think it's a small, like 3-year-old guy that did something with my hat. I don't know why I think so. And so Damien comes in the house and he starts helping me look, and you know, he'll look in places that you might not have thought of yourself because you're looking where you might have misplaced it. So he finds my hat. It's under the treadmill. But when he finds it, look at the state that it's in. It's missing a headphone, just dangling. And it's filled with toys, Lincoln Logs to be specific, and a dump truck. The little foam thing is gone. Oh, and it's chewed on by the dog. There's more than one murder suspect here. And I think... well, I was blaming Jaden for thinking he busted it and then hiding it under the treadmill. But it's a small dog, and it's a little boy. Oh yeah, that's chewed up too. You know, these hats are kind of expensive. I have to process how I feel about dogs and children. Because you have what is it, a $300 hat by the time you ship it to yourself? And then $150 helmet communication setup.
Yep.
$450 worth of helmet.
And once you get it all set up and it's like sitting, everything's always sitting in the right spot, you're pretty happy with that.
Yeah, so I still like the kid.
Yeah.
Because he's playing with Dad's hat. He wants to probably be like that.
Like you. Yeah.
The dog don't want to be like me, and the dog is just a mindless biological robot of chewing and looking cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need the dog. My wife needs the dog, and I need the wife. So I'm back to needing the dog. But that's a ridiculous expense. I had a dog one time that got up under the house. It was a duplex I was living in, and it got up under the house and tore out all of the ducting for the heat supply to my neighbor. So it's a duplex, right? The dog did not destroy mine, destroyed my neighbors. And I noticed the dog was like coughing all the time. Why is this dog? It's just a puppy. Why is it coughing? Well, it was just ripping and tearing fiberglass insulation in its off time while I was doing other things under the house. So check it out, YouTube. You got this. I don't know what it is with the sketchy trees lately, but it had a center that was still good. The center like 9 inches and the rest is no good. Anyway, so that thing right there, what looks like another tree that's grown up into that canopy, was the top of this. So it broke out, planted itself right there, and is hung up there. We'll probably just pull it, or Damien will pull it back this way or something like that. And then, so it makes you wonder, they just bought the house, so they don't know. There's no needles left on that snag. And that's the one that we gotta climb. Makes you wonder, you know. It's still standing, so it's obviously was a better constitution than this one was. But is it? How bad is it? And you gotta like determine that along the way as you go up. I mean, I do. My neighbors came to me. I think your dog might have done something under the house. So he had been running the heat for a month.
After the guy saw
freezing his butt off.
Saw it and knew the dog did
Well,
something,
he finally had to go inspect why he was so cold all the time. And he found what the dog had done. And
yeah. And if you have a perfect breed of dog that's loyal, that doesn't chew things up, that is more of like a tool for the man, then leave your comment in the section.
Do you have a good dog? Or do you have a bad dog that you love? Any thoughts? Hurry up.
I just want to watch you climb.
Oh, okay. I'll get up there.
I'm gonna buck some wood.
All right.
Yeah. Because you have to love it.
Or just because you do, because they got the cuteness thing. It's, I mean, I hate to say it, but it's kind of like a lady a little bit.
I love my cat, but man, when she is meowing at me in the morning when I got stuff to do, that can get on my nerves.
Let me explain the lady comment, because that could
you better explain
go really bad.
Quick. You better not leave that one in the dark, or else all the ladies are left to imagine what you were saying. And I'm not gonna say you know how that goes.
There's a dog in the back seat of that car, and look at the state of the car, ripped to shreds. The headliner's hanging. Yeah, so this job originally we were just gonna put stuff on the ground, just like this, done. But now he's like, "Can you cut it up?" And so yeah, we're gonna do that. But anyway, let's see if this works. I'm about to find out if this chewed up puppy dog mic works. Back to the lady part, I just meant you'll probably endure some discomfort because the lady is so much more interesting than you, anatomically and otherwise, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not very interesting standing next to my significant other.
No, you're just a terrible beast.
It's like a flower. It's like the blackberry on the vine.
Dude.
Nobody cares about the vine.
Yeah.
You just want to pick and eat that juicy little blackberry.
Oh man, wow.
And you don't even want to go through the vines to get it.
You're like the thorn on the rose.
Yeah.
Dang.
Nobody smells the stalk.
No. Wow.
What do the thorns smell like?
Okay, we're starting to save this. Is my mic working?
Yep.
What?
Perfectly.
Oh.
Doesn't look like it's working, but it is.
It's gonna get hosed by rain.
Yeah.
since it's all wide open. Okay, dog forgiven. Do over. They live a short life anyway.
Yeah. Just wait it out, August. And then you can get it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true though. The lady looks good.
Smells
She's
good.
soft and aromatic. She's smooth
And voluptuous.
and just scrumptiously gorgeous. Right?
Yeah.
Everything about her is magically intoxicating. And the dude is like hairy and stinky and ugly.
Covered in sawdust.
I mean, he's really useless except for just maybe being a donor for, you know, the trophy. Not that it
Unscrewing light bulbs and using screwdrivers and
you know how
trimming bushes.
You know how you try to give a lady a compliment and you just work yourself into a hole? That's what I'm doing right now. Yeah.
Well, you need to find some sort of vocal shovel.
And
As
dig
big
myself.
as the biggest excavator that they have.
And dig myself deeper? Yeah, I know.
And don't leave a ramp to get back up.
There's more haunted deadness back there, and that thing just fell a couple days ago. Kind of went out that way in a cool direction. Yeah, a lady can be so unreasonable 1 minute and make you just exasperated, and then the next minute none of it matters. It'd be almost like the lady who has a baby and thinks it's the worst thing that she's ever been through, and then the baby's born and she's like, oh, you adorable thing, I would do it 1,000 times.
Yeah, it was all worth it.
Yeah.
Worth it.
But is it like that with a dog? Like, if the dog costs you thousands and thousands of dollars, it's probably worth it.
To keep the lady happy?
No, just because it's a little creature of loyalty. You know? It's unerringly loyal.
Mm-hmm.
If you call ripping up your $400 helmet loyal, I don't know.
Dad tears stuff up. I'm gonna show him I can tear it up too.
No, he wasn't. Those things, you got to be careful with them, and he was playing with it, I'm sure, and he. See, because
I'm talking about the dog tearing it up.
Oh, the dog? Oh no, the dog don't.
Yeah.
No, it's a biological robot, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's like, I chew, I dig, I chase ball.
Like you have the golden retriever that just walks around with its frisbee all the time.
Ball chasing dogs are proof of my biological robot statement.
You know, like you get the ones that like anytime anybody comes over, it drops a stick at your feet and then just goes until you throw the ball. And like if you do it once, it's a known thing that it is on.
They have emotions and stuff though. So like, in what way are humans also like biological robots? You know, they're patterned lives. They can be relied on to be just as dumb as they were the last time in a certain given scenario, or just as predictable, I should say. It could be predictably empathetic or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Are we rolling up to a job or a bid?
Job.
Oh. Is it for the lady with the bulldogs? No. So the lady with the bulldogs is right there.
Yeah, she's nice. Done a bunch of stuff
Those
there.
dogs are like bowling balls.
Dude, little bowling
If you
things.
see them coming, you better not be a strike, because they're gonna bust your calves.
Yeah.
Well, it was solid at the bottom, but up in here, it's got all those fungus growing all over it, and it feels, I don't know, it's not a, I'm not sure yet. I'm still making a decision about how I like this tree. Like, I don't know if I would trust the stem to be pushed on real hard by a massive top. Yeah, unless I tie it into something else. Seems like I was about to tell YouTube something. Oh, YouTube, I was cutting up like this, and it comes through, and I just let the saw fall like this. Now my hand's out like that. That gives it the limb time to leave and be out of my path. And then I use the inertia of the weight of the saw coming back to just swing it right back up for the next one. You're just kind of using that finesse of things that are already in motion to reduce the workload for your body. Now this one I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to grab it with my left hand and let the inertia carry it behind my back and release it out here. Of course, that got destroyed by my little puppy dog Madrone back there that chewed it up. Okay, so it would be like this. See? Watch the saw when it comes back. Whoop! Now that's out of the way. Whoop! Whoop! See, I'm not lifting the saw at all. That one I give a little shove. Watch this one, when it comes off, I'll give it a little shove with the power head. See? Push it out away. So far, to me, the wood looks pretty good still. I've climbed up here and tied in. Not because I needed to, but so I could put the camera here so that you guys could see a non-dizzy helmet cam view of some of these little, these are not big things. These are things that no new chainsaw operator should do. But these are things that people who have been climbing trees and running top handle saws for their lives, for their lifetime, these are things that they do. You decide the ethics of it, of whether you think it's good, and be accountable to your own decisions. But I would just like to show a couple of things because I find it intensely interesting, the little details that you find out about yourself, the little things that you find out you're doing in the process of showing what you're doing, like trying to verbalize it. And you'll see all these little like movements of wrists and elbows and shoulders and, you know, everything. Sometimes you might even headbutt a limb or something. It's really interesting. It's like an art of fighting almost. And not trying to overplay this. This is just a simple central leader standing dead, kind of an easy scenario. But be advised, when things you think are easy is when you maybe should look around and think, what am I missing? But so I've said that. I need to be not complacent is the point about that. But I'll cut this out of my way just so you have a better camera view, and then I'll show you a few of the little play-by-play cuts, just so we can make a nice tidy little video of some explained cuts for the sake of interest, not for the sake of instruction. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I find it intensely interesting, and some plumber out there or some little old lady on her couch might also find it interesting, okay? I mean, why do people go to the circus? Not that I'm comparing myself to a circus performer, but you don't criticize the guy who juggles chainsaws. You don't say, that's an ANSI violation. You just go, wow, cool dude. Okay, well, we're not gonna juggle. Just gonna get this one out of the way for now. And a nice controlled little whackaroo right down there. What? You're cutting close to your rope. Yeah, but look, see? I know where the tip of my bar is. It's out here. There's nothing that's going to come into contact with my tip that could cause a kickback. I'm holding my rope out of the way. What? He used it with one hand near his rope. Very deliberately, though. Again, not as a suggestion of how to, but as a suggestion of I did. Okay? I'm going to get my flip line around. I'll be double tied in. Then if somebody says you're cutting by your rope, well, you're also got a steel core flip line around the tree. So we cut by the things that are holding us up because there's things near things that are holding us up that we want to cut. Okay, so here we go. Let's see, what could I talk about? This one right here, it'll be behind the back. Okay, it's probably going to hang up a little bit, but if I can free it there, I'll be swinging it out behind my back because there's a fence under me. All right, we can do that again. Behind the back, switch hands. Okay, now I can go to two hands. Why not? Because there's no reason for one hand right here. Look at this. Face shield. A lot of times I'm going to be following through with my cut out like this because it also keeps the chain from getting thrown. Because if you leave the cut, if you leave the bar in the cut sometimes and it's getting pried on kind of funky, it can throw your chain. What does it mean to throw your chain? It just means your chain comes off. Okay. So another one this way. Kind of gave it a little bit of a spear toss that way. Now I could have cut it off and let it hang up and then fight it out. But instead I'll cut it off, and before it gets hung up, I'll give it a chuck this way. Damien's saying I should tell you that every cut, there's actually a little plan for each one. Even though it might look like it's all happening fast and somewhat seamless, there's a little micro plan that's being calibrated on the go in a resourcefulness type of way that is accommodating every single cut. It's like, you know, your brain, after a while, your body can kind of take over and do it, but it doesn't mean there isn't a plan. It means you know where the tip of your bar is. It means you know the path of the saw afterwards. It means you know what kind of trigger pull you're going to have, whether you're going to be zinging it off, whether you're going to be kind of, what's the word? Whether you're going to be kind of feathering it, like zing, 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 and getting it to tip. And then when it's at the right attitude, then cutting it off. There's just a bunch of little things, and I'm talking a lot. So that plan right there was simply follow through, get the saw out of the way, and give the piece room to fall and not get swung under toward the fence. Don't want it hanging on out here. Like this one here. I don't want to cut slow at the end and have it swing under and go on the fence. Another way you can do that if you're kind of worried about it is cut out further and then make another cut here. That's a really good idea if you're not sure. You go like that, and then now all I got is this little one. See? But if you know your saw's good enough, you can just go for it right at the base. See, I mean, it fell flat, right? Can you see if there's any sawdust on that lens without bumping it? You're climbing up these kind of wobbly snags like this. You kind of don't do any like shaking around either. You get a little bit deliberate because you don't want a dead top whipping around like this up above you. Everybody has gone through that, right? When they're a kid and they're dumb and they're out in the woods and they're shaking dead trees. And the tops are coming down like javelins around them and they're laughing. Yeah, maybe not every kid, but what I did.
We would have stick wars in the woods where we'd be grabbing dead fir limbs, you know, like thick ones, and you knew they'd break if you hit a tree.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, we'd have 3 or 4 of us in the woods just going, bam, hitting the trees super hard, and the piece that hits on the other side just goes, go, go.
Yeah.
Dude. We probably almost died a couple times.
Yeah.
You just see this thing. I think it's some serious whipping action through the woods.
Yeah, kids will do some dumb stuff.
We were laughing our heads off the whole time. Yeah, one time we did it and it hit my buddy Abram, and he fell down in the ground and it was acting like he was dead.
So
he was like super dramatic about it. Like you could tell it hurt hella bad, you know?
yeah,
Like,
it's amazing we survived.
yeah.
I mean, when I was a kid, me and my brother Grant, we were out in the woods knocking dead trees over, pretending we were Bruce Lee and stuff.
Yeah,
And
the super crafty ones.
yeah, and we each had a .22 rifle in our hands.
Yeah.
So we were like way too unobserved out there, knocking trees down with the butt of the gun and kicking them over. And
Yeah, while there's one like ready to shoot.
yeah, I'll tell you a story later. We all lived, but wow. I'm a little more of a helicopter dad than my parents were, because I know what it was like for me. I'm like, let's see. Somehow I lived. All right, so what's next, YouTube? This is another cut it off and toss it under me like this. Like if I just cut it off, it's going to fall down on that madrone and then swing out and probably land on the fence. So what would you do in a freestyle sort of way if you didn't want to cut one-handed? Let's just ask that question. You'd either put a rope on it, or you might do some kind of snap cut. Let's try this. Okay, that's a snap cut, and it's linear, right? So that I can utilize the back strap here to hold it up. So if somebody wants to do that, some book somewhere would tell you that was the ticket. But the reason I wouldn't do that is it's a little slower, uses more battery, more gas, whatever. And there's this little bit of time while you're cutting, because it has to be perfect right here, where it might just go, and now you got the saw in your hand and you have to like surrender it all of a sudden and grab the piece in order to save the fence. So that's a thing that you could do, and some rule thumper somewhere would say that was better, and then somebody else would say no, put a rope on it, you know, just put a rope. And you'll hear me say that sometimes. Depends on who you're, you know, like if I had my little daughter up here, and I have had her climb a tree and top a tree, I don't let her do no advance, nothing, okay? I make sure she's got 2 hands on the saw the whole time, and whatever is necessary for her tender age, appropriate technique, that's what we do. I just am a strong believer in freedom, and that a person can develop skills that they agree with, and they're free to implement those skills. Okay? Here we go. So now I have another cut. So that had 1, 2, 3 cuts on this one, where my usual way would be to cut it off with one cut and throw it behind me. So let's see. This next one, I kind of show you how when you get in the flow, you can kind of go back and forth, kind of toss the saw back and forth. Like this one is I'm gonna grab it and I'm gonna throw it under my back or behind my back. Okay. Again. This side. This side. So you're coming up over like this, and you'll see me sometimes, especially in my old videos, I'll be like this. And I'll throw the saw back and forth like that, and you just get in this circular motion, and it's quite fun actually. This next one I'll be reaching up and cutting. They'll say, oh no, don't do that, that's above your shoulders. But the path of my saw, the bar tip, everything, I know where the whole route of it. At no time will I be making myself in any kind of danger. But it's above me, so I can't quite get a hand on it yet, so I'll have to drop it into my hand. It's fun stuff. Another thing some people do, I've noticed in the YouTube comments, is they immediately judge a guy based on what saw he's got. They're like, wrong brand, click away. And I see it a lot with the battery. Like I like this battery saw, and I'll tell you why. It's finally Husqvarna came out. You know, I'm a Stihl guy, but Husqvarna came out with a dang saw that has some power, right? That's what it's all about up here, is having enough power to get through the cut and go home, you know? So try to, like, if you see a guy using an Echo or something, like I have an Echo too. Yeah, I used the 200T for most of my career. Loved it. But I'm not gonna get a little sticker on the back of my window that's got a little dude pissing on some other brand, because I also like the little Echo. It's the lightest thing. It's like an electric bread knife. And you know, it's cool. This thing's cool. I can talk to you while I'm using it. In between cuts, I don't have to turn it off. I don't have to turn an idling motor off to talk to you. Hi, YouTube. How's your day? Yeah, a lot of the little tricks. Damien's down there saying a lot of the little tricks we do. We need some power, and the battery. Yeah. Can you hear him? He said a powerful saw is like as important as a sharp saw. Like, you could have a powerful saw and a dull chain, and that's no good. Or you could have a sharp chain and no power, and that's no good. But if you got power and sharp, then you don't care what color it is. You don't care whether somebody thinks it's a fuzzy wuzzy green loving save the whale thing or something. Don't matter. You like it because it does what you want it to do. And you gotta go like that. You gotta say hoo-ah. If you go around two of them like this, depending on how crusty stuff is, okay? Like, I'm making judgment calls the whole way because, dang it, I trust that thing, right? I do. You might not, but you won't have as much experience likely. So, yeah, in this particular tree. So these limbs coming out like this, well, that makes kind of a neat, your rope can't ride out because it's going out the V. So this is one of the ways that I hook to limbs often. If you're in doubt at all, then, and you'll see me do it all the time, I'll go over a limb, around the tree, and back down. Not every time, but I'll do it a lot. Again, someone will say that should be a law, a rule, you should have to do it that way. But what that does is it puts unnecessary burdens on a guy who's far away from everybody up in a tree and has common sense. You might be going over some gargantuanly massive limb that's so strong you could hang a train off of it, and you'll have some letter of the law thing in your head that makes you work harder to accomplish the same thing, and then as a result you'll be more tired at the end of the day. Tiredness causes injuries, and then you could argue it's because you were following this legalistic letter of the law stuff instead of common sense and freedom. How about an index finger? You want me to take a couple chunks off of it? Maybe a couple. Okay. Nah, I'm not gonna be up here long. Should I rotate it and land it flat, or should I give it a butt shove and land it flat?
Rotation.
Rotation to flat? Okay. Thank you, Lupe Santiago. He made me this cambium saver. So this is just kind of choked, right? Somebody might think that's sketchy, but look, if I had to bail out right now, I'm tied in. So I think it's pretty cool. Looks like another rotation to flat. Oh, I got a little hanger on. You know you're cutting pretty ample wood with your little battery saw when you've got a little bit hanger on at the end. All right, I judge the rotation of this thing. I probably need to hold the butt just a little. Yep, just right. I think it's short enough, Damien. It looks like a pole rope would be handy because it sweeps out over the fence here.
Okay, rope's on.
So YouTube, a little thing I've done for years, not all the time, but it makes it so that the knot is not the part that's getting mashed into the ground when the piece hits. And then also the rope, as it goes over the edge there, it has a 45-degree bevel, so it's not just going over a sharp edge. A little tiny detail. Also, it makes it so that you're able to pull from the very, very top of the tree instead of down at all. So you a tiny bit more leverage. All right, Damien, I'll pull it for you. You cut it.
All right, YouTube, I guess August decided he wants me to cut the stem. So I guess I will, without a lot of him talking me into it. Cause in the end, I cut a bunch of 16s down here and I've reached peak misery. So unless I make a face cut, I'll never redeem. And then once it comes down, I'll buck a bunch of 16s again and I'll be going downtown again.
And I'll be waiting in the truck.
Yeah. Maybe you guys have seen this, maybe you guys haven't, but I like the new design here with the bags. You take them, throw it through there real quick. Tighten it up, and then you can just flake it into the bag. Okay. So, August time-lapse this, okay? Rip it into the bag. Okay, August, stop the time-lapse. All right, so then you take this little buckle here, clip it, tighten it, and then we'll use this in the crane too, where when you're in the tree, you get up there without all your rope hanging everywhere. I put it on my right-hand side, and then there's a little buckle you can hit here, and then it just pops and you can just drop your bag out of the tree. If you're interested in those bags, I love mine. Go over to monkeybeaver.com. All right, let's get some glory here and cut this snag stem. Leave it in your comment section whether or not you think I'm gonna match my face cut up first try. For all those that paused the video and doubted me in the YouTube comment section, here's one for you. Woo, doggies. Happens every time. Sometimes. Every throw ball shot too. Also, go ahead and stop the video now, and in the comment section, rate my hinge before you see it. All right, how did the ratings come in? From the back side, we got some stringers, and from the side view, it's all the way across. How'd I do?
So the beauty of the monkey beaver harness and suspenders together, the way that it goes on and off is super easy to put on over bulky clothes like rain gear or like this winter type stuff. So you got a leg strap buckle there, another one there. Then this, of course, I always leave it, unless I'm going SRT up, I just leave it like this anyway. That leaves one more buckle right here. Okay, then I can hold on to it like this and just step out, and it's all one unit ready to go.
For the people that are interested to see what the wood looked like that August was climbing around on, I haven't gotten all the way through it, but it's not horrible down here, but you could still, like, none of this stuff is good, but you could imagine how much weight was above this, you know, where this section is good here. And you can still see the rings of badness in this stuff up here. And I'll show you a little bit more when we get towards the end. after all that excitement, we're done. I'm gonna grab that rope and that rope and the saw, and I'm gonna walk the heck out of here. Have a good day, YouTube. But wait, there's more. I forgot I said I would show you guys what some of the last stuff looks like that he was climbing on up there. It's not horrible, but that stuff in there is not very bad, not very good. It's kind of bad. And then this stuff, I know it's not horrible, but just because he wasn't climbing something that was about to fall, he's still a beast. Don't tell him I said that though. All right, we'll see you on the next one, YouTube.